went all in. They risked being laughed at. They risked being laughed at. They risked failure. They risked everything because they understood something you need to understand right now. Comfort kills dream. You're sitting there waiting for the perfect time. Guess what? There's no perfect time. There will never be a day when everything lines up. The money's right. The people support you. The stars are shining perfectly. No. The perfect time is the moment you decide to move. The perfect time is the second you say, I'm done talking about it, I'm doing it. Stop being scared of what could go wrong and start being obsessed with what could go right. You keep worrying, and what if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if it doesn't work? Let me flip it. What if it does? What if this is the move that changes everything? What if this is the moment your name gets etched in history? Listen, legends are not born. They are built, brick by brick, move by move, decision by decision. And every single legendary story has one common thread. They made a bold move when it didn't make sense. They stepped out when it was dark. They jumped when the ground wasn't visible. They believed in the unseen. That's what you're missing. You keep wanting certainty. Legends thrive in uncertainty. They don't need a guarantee. They become the guarantee. They become the guarantee. You've been hiding behind excuses for too long. I'm not ready. I don't have enough. I'll start when, no, that's fear talking. And fear has stolen more dreams than failure ever has. You want to live bold? Then kill the fear. Starve it. Do what you're scared to do. Move before you're ready, because the truth is you'll never be ready. Readiness is a lie the world sold you to keep you average. And I'm telling you right now, you weren't put here to be average. You were put here to dominate. You were put here to set the tone, to raise the bar, to leave a mark that can't erase. Bold moves require sacrifice. You can't keep your comfort zone and build a legacy. You can't binge Netflix every night and expect your name to be remembered. You can't play it safe and expect to stand out. When it's safe is crowded, bold is rare, and rare is what gets remembered. So what's it gonna be? Another year of the same excuses, or a year of bold moves? Another year of playing small, or the year you'll go all in? Stop talking about it. Stop posting about it. Stop posting about it. Start doing it. I need you to decide that today is the day you draw the line in the sand. I'm done being average. I'm done being average. I'm done waiting. I'm making a bold move now. You want to be a legend? Then act like one. Wake up earlier. Grind harder. Think bigger. Stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for applause. Move. And when you move, don't tiptoe. Kick the door off the hinges. Leave no doubt in anybody's mind about who you are and what you came to do. Because here's the truth. Nobody remembers the ones who played it safe. The ones who didn't risk, who didn't stretch, who didn't go for it, they get forgot. But the bold live forever. Their names echo through time. Their stories inspire generation. They're the ones we call legend. So I'll ask you again. Are you ready to make bold moves? Are you ready to stop living like you got 9 lives? Are you ready to risk being uncomfortable for the rest of your life so you can build a life that outlives you? If the answer is yes, then don't wait another second. Start, move, push, fight, sacrifice, do what they say can't be done. And when it gets hard, and it will, you remind yourself, bold moves build legends. Go build yours. Here are 8 powerful keywords from the speech of Bold Moves Build Legend. 1, boldness, the core principle, stepping out of your comfort zone. 2, courage, the strength to take action despite fear. 3, risk, the willingness to embrace uncertainty for greatness. 4, commitment, going all in without hesitation. 5, sacrifice, letting go of comfort to achieve legacy. 6, legacy building, something that outlives you. 7, fearless mindset, refusing to let fear dictate your action. 8, dominance, owning your space and leaving no doubt. Boldness, listen to me. There's a reason why most people live their entire life and never make history. It's not because they didn't have talent. It's not because they weren't smart. It's because they were scared to make bold moves. They played it safe. They waited for guarantees. They waited for signs. They waited for applause. And guess what? The world doesn't clap for safe. The world claps for bold. You want to build a life that outlives you. You want your name to echo when you're gone? Then hear me loud and clear. Boldness is the price of admission for greatness. Why boldness matters? Stop thinking boldness is about arrogance. Stop thinking boldness means loud talking or being flashy. Boldness is not about volume, it's about decisions. Boldness is when you move forward, when everybody else hesitates. Boldness is when you take that shot with no safety net. Boldness is when you step into rooms you don't feel ready for, but you show up anyway. The truth is, most people never step into boldness because boldness is uncomfortable. Boldness demands that you leave the familiar, and the familiar feels safe. But let me hit you with this. Safety never built legends. Comfort never created a champion. If you study every legend, from athletes to entrepreneurs to world changers, they all share one thing. At some point, they made a bold move. They risked looking foolish. They risked failure. They risked losing. But they did it anyway. Why? Because they understood that playing small guarantees mediocrity. But boldness gives you a shot at greatness. The enemy of boldness, you know what kills boldness? Fear. That little voice that says, what if you fail? What if they laugh? What if you lose everything? And I'm telling you right now, fear is a liar. Fear will convince you to shrink when you were built to stretch. Fear will whisper excuses until your dreams die of neglect. And the worst part? Fear doesn't always come loud. Sometimes it comes as logic. Let me wait for the perfect time. Or let me save a little more money first. Or let me get one more degree, then I'll start. No, that's fear in disguise. And fear disguised as logic is the most dangerous type because it sounds smart, but it steals your destiny. Boldness creates momentum when you make a bold move. Something happens inside you. You shift from waiting to acting, from hoping to doing. Boldness creates momentum, and momentum is what separates dreamers from doers. Think about it. The second you take a bold step, the second you send that email, launch that product, start that business, write that first page, you ignite something in your spirit. You start moving, and when you move, doors open that you didn't even know existed. But if you sit back, if you hesitate, if you wait for certainty, you'll never see those doors because they only open for the bold. How to live bold now. Don't get it twisted. Boldness isn't about recklessness. It's about calculated courage. It's about knowing the risk and moving forward anyway. So here's how you build boldness in your life. 1, kill the excuses. Stop saying I'm not ready. Nobody is ready. You think legends were ready when they made their move? No, they became ready because they moved. Readiness is a myth. Movement is the truth. 2, take the first hit. You want to be bold. Do the thing that scares you most. Call that client. Apply for that job. Post that video. Make that speech. Your first move doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be bold. 3, normalize discomfort. Boldness is uncomfortable by design. Get comfortable being uncomfortable being uncomfortable. The more you live outside the comfort zone, the bigger your boldness grows. 4, surround yourself with bold people. If everyone in your circle's playing small, you will too. Find people who challenge you, who push you, who make you feel like you're thinking too small because you probably are. Boldness versus average. Let me keep it real. Average people don't like bold people. Average people will call you crazy. They'll say, oh, why would you do that? Why risk everything? And you better learn to smile and keep moving because their fear is not your fear. Average people live in a land of what if it doesn't work. Bold people live in a land of what if it does. The moment you choose bold, there's going to come a moment when you have to choose. Stay safe or step out. And that moment will not feel magical. It won't be fireworks. In fact, you'll probably feel scared to death. But that's the moment that defines your future. And let me warn you, If you say no to boldness once, it gets easier to say no again. Every time you choose safety, you train your brain to settle. But when you choose boldness, when you say, I don't care how scary it is, I'm moving forward, you build a muscle. And every time you use that muscle, it grows stronger. Your legacy depends on boldness. If you're serious about leaving a mark, about being remembered, about building a life your kids and grandkids talk about, you cannot do it playing small. The world does not reward timidity. The world rewards bold moves. Think about the stories we tell. We don't tell stories about people who played it safe. We tell stories about the ones who risked it all, who believed when nobody else did, who took a leap when it didn't make sense. Those people live forever. So what about you? When your time is up, when people speak your name, they say, hey, they played it safe. Or what they say? They were bold. They went for it. They didn't hold back. Closing power line. Listen, you got one shot at this life. Stop acting like you can get a do-over. Stop acting like you got time to waste. You don't. So make the move. Make the call. Launch the business. Write the book. Step on the stage. Take the risk. Because in the end, it's not the bold who regret. It's the safe. And I promise you this, the bold last forever. Bold moves build legends. Now go be bold. Courage. Listen to me. Every dream you've ever had, every goal you've ever written down, every vision you've seen in your head, it all has one gatekeeper. Courage. You can have the talents, you can have the resources, you can have the strategy. But if you don't have courage, you will never touch it. I'm telling you right now, life is going to test you. Life is going to put you in situations. Fear is loud where doubt is screaming in your ear, where the easy option is to quit. And the only thing that will get you through those moments is courage. Why courage is the difference maker? Let's get one thing straight. Courage is not the absence of fear. You think courageous people aren't scared? You think warriors walk into battle with no fear? No. They feel the same fear you fear. They just move anyway. Courage is acting in spite of fear. Courage is saying, I see the risk, I see the pain, I see the uncertainty, but I'm not letting that stop me. You gotta understand, fear is natural. Fear is your mind trying to protect you. But here's the truth. Fear will keep you alive, yes, but fear will keep you alive, yes. But fear will also keep you average. And average doesn't build legacies. Average doesn't create impact. Average doesn't inspire anybody. So if you want to rise, if you want to live bold, if you want to touch that dream you've been praying about, you have to make peace with fear and lead with courage. Courage is a muscle. Courage isn't something you're born with. It's something you build. Every time you choose courage over fear, you strengthen it. Every time you step into an uncomfortable situation, you level up. But here's the problem. Too many of you avoid anything that scares you. You avoid risk, you avoid conflict, you avoid uncertainty. And then you wonder why your life looks the same year after year. You can't pray for change and run from challenge at the same time. Growth lives on the other side of fear. The legends you admire, they didn't wake up fearless. They practiced courage. They kept showing up even when the odds were against them. They kept swinging even when nobody believed. That's what separates them from the rest. Why most people never use courage. I need to break this down because some of you think courage is something magical that shows up in big moments. No, courage starts small. But the reason most people never step into courage is because they wait for it to feel good. They wait for the fear to go away first. And that day never comes. Courage is messy. Courage feels uncomfortable. Courage feels like your heart pounding out of your chest. If you're waiting for courage to feel safe, you'll never move. Stop waiting for scary. Start moving through scary. The enemies of courage. There are 3 killers of courage you need to recognize. 1, perfectionism. You want everything lined up before you move. You want the perfect plan, the perfect timing, the perfect approval. Stop it. Perfection is an illusion. You'll never have perfect conditions. Move anyway. 2, Comparison, you're too busy watching other people. You see their highlight reel and think, I can't measure up. Listen, their chapter 20 has nothing to do with your chapter 1. Stop comparing and start acting. 3, overthinking. Some of you kill your courage by thinking too much. You analyze so long that the opportunity passes. Sometimes you need to stop thinking and jump. How to build courage daily? You want courage. Here's how you build it. 1, about phase 1 fear. Every day, big courage is built through small acts. Speak up in that meeting. Make that phone call. Have that hard conversation. Every little win stacks up. 2, visualize victory. Stop obsessing over what could go wrong and start picturing what could go right. See yourself winning before you move. That energy will carry you through the fear. 3, surround yourself with brave voices. If everyone in your life plays it safe, you will too. Get around people who take chances, who dream big, who refuse to settle. Courage is contagious. 4, shift your language. Stop saying I'm scared. Start saying I'm growing. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're on the edge of a breakthrough. Courage in action. Think about the times in your life when courage showed up. Maybe you stood up for yourself. Maybe you left that toxic job. Maybe you started that project nobody believed in. Those were your defining moments. And guess what? You have more of them ahead, but only if you choose courage over comfort. Let me tell you something. Courage will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you relationships. It might cost you stability. But you know what it buys you? Freedom, impact, legacy. The courage test. There's going to be a day when everything in you wants to run, when fear feels bigger than faith, when quitting feels easier than continuing. That's the test. And in that moment, I need you to hear my voice. Push through. Step forward. Move, scared if you have to, but move. Because every breakthrough you've been praying for, every dream you've been writing down, it's waiting on the other side of that test. But only courage can take you there. Closing power line, listen to me. You're not going to build a legendary life by playing small. You're not going to make history by waiting for perfect. You're not going to change the game by letting fear run your life. So do me a favor. Stop waiting and feel ready. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for courage to knock on your door. Courage is built in motion. Move now. Move scared. Move bold. Because here's the truth. Fear will never leave, but neither will your dream. So the question is, which one will you serve? Choose courage every time, because courage builds legends. Risk, listen to me. Everybody wants the reward, but nobody wants the risk. Everybody wants the success, the fame, the freedom, but the second they see the price tag, they walk away. Let me make it plain. You cannot build a legendary life without risk. You want safety? Then go get a 9 to 5, live the same year 40 times, and call it life. But if you want greatness, if you want your name to echo long after you're gone, if you want to build something that lasts, you better get comfortable betting on yourself when the odds aren't in your favor. Because the truth is, risk is the bridge between dreams and reality. And the reason most people never cross it, they're scared to fall. Why risk is non-negotiable mean hit you with something real. If there's no reward, period. Safe moves never build empires. Playing it small never created a legacy. Think about every person you admire, the business icons, the athletes, the creators, the pioneers. They all took risks. They left security behind. They said no to comfort. They walked into the unknown with nothing but faith and hunger. You can't have both. You can't hold on to comfort and reach for greatness at the same time. One hand has to let go. And that's what risk is. Letting go of the familiar to grab hold of the future. The illusion of safety. Some of you think avoiding risk makes you safe. No. Avoiding risk makes you stuck. Avoiding risk kills dreams slowly, silent. You think you're protecting yourself, but really you're paralyzing yourself. Safety is an illusion. That job you think is secure, one email can change that. That comfort zone you love, it's a trap. Because while you're standing safe, Somebody else is taking risks, leveling up, and passing you by. Risk versus recklessness. Now, I'm not telling you to gamble everything blindly. I'm not saying go quit your job tomorrow with no plan. That's recklessness. Risk is different. Risk is calculated courage. Risk is looking at the challenge, weighing the cost, and saying, even if I fail, it's worth the fight. Let me break it down. Recklessness equals no strategy, no thought, just jumping. Risk equals vision plus faith plus action. When you risk with a plan, you create opportunities that safe people will never see. The fear of losing, the number one reason people avoid risk. Fear of losing, fear of failing, fear of embarrassment. And let me tell you something, losing is part of the process. Every icon you look up to lost before they won. Every legend you admire failed more times than the average person even tried. But here's the difference. They saw failure as tuition, not a death sentence. They understood that risk comes with losses, but it also comes with lessons. And those lessons, they turn you into the person who can handle the win when it finally comes. Why playing safe costs more, you think risk is expensive? Let me tell you what's really expensive. Regret. Regret will cost you peace. Regret will cost you joy. Regret will cost you your entire life because you'll sit there wondering, what if you had started that business? What if you had gone for that dream? What if you had taken the shot? Do you really want to live with those questions? Do you really want to explain to your kids one day that you didn't go after it because you were scared? Safe feels cheap now, but it costs everything later. Risk feels expensive now, but it pays in freedom, impact, and legacy. How to take smart risks, let me give you the playbook. Risk doesn't mean reckless. It means strategic boldness. Here's how to take risks the right way. 1, start with why. If your reason isn't strong, the risk will crush you. So lock in your why. Make sure it's bigger than your fear. 2, do your homework. Courage doesn't mean ignorant. Study your craft. Learn the game. Know what you're stepping into. 3, plan for the punches. Every risk comes with hits. Expect and prepare. Don't cry when they come. Fight back. 4, bet on yourself. At the end of the day, the biggest risk is not taking a shot. You are the investment. If you won't bet on you, why should anyone else? The payoff of risk here is what you need to understand. When you risk, you activate growth. Risk forces you to evolve. Risk demands that you become resourceful, creative, relentless. Risk is the pressure that turns coal into diamonds. And let me tell you something, the win feels different when you risk for it. When you sacrifice comfort, when you stare fear in the face, when you stepped out and still succeeded, that victory hits different. That victory feels earned. The moment of decision is going to be a moment. Maybe it's today. When the opportunity comes, and it won't look safe. It won't feel guaranteed. In fact, it'll scare you. And in that moment, you'll have 2 choices. Play it safe and stay where you are. Take the risk and step into who you were called to be. That choice, that's the difference between a life you like and a life you love. Between being remembered and being forgotten. Closing power line, listen to me. Stop treating risk like it's the enemy. Risk is the key. Risk is the bridge. Risk is the path that separates the ordinary from the legendary. So stop asking, what if I fail? Start asking, what if I fly? Because in the end, risk isn't something you avoid. It's something you embrace. Because bold moves build legends, and bold moves always involve risk. Now go take that shot. Commitment, listen to me. You can dream big, you can talk big, you can post quotes all day long, but none of it matters if you don't have commitment. Because commitment is what separates the wannabes from the ones who actually make it happen. Let me make this clear. Commitment is the contract you sign with yourself that says, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, I'm not quitting until I get what I came for. and the reason most people never touch greatness, because they treat their goals like a fling, not a merit. They're loyal until it gets hard. They're loyal until they don't feel like it. They're loyal until they see how much it's going to cost. And then they quit. But legends don't quit. Legends stay committed when the lights are on, when nobody's cheering, when the results aren't showing up. Legends don't need a mood. They live by decision. Commitment is not a feeling. Stop thinking commitment is about how you feel. It's not. Feelings are temporary. They change like the weather. You feel motivated today, lazy tomorrow. If your grind depends on your feelings, you'll finish before you start. Commitment is a decision. It's when you wake up and say, I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm broke. I don't care if I'm broke. I don't care if I'm scared. I said I'm going to do this, and I meant it. That's the difference between the average and the elite. Average people are interested. Committed people are invested. Average people make promises. Committed people make plans. Average people give excuses. Committed people give everything. Why most people lack commitment, let me tell you why most people never stay committed. Because they want convenience. They want commitment without cost. They want the prize without the prize. Without the prize said, they want the crown without the cross. And the second it gets uncomfortable, the second it gets hard, the second it takes longer than they thought, they're out. But here's the truth. Every breakthrough you want is on the other side of inconvenience. You cannot get to the top without paying the price. And that price, it's commitment when everything in you wants to quit. Commitment versus motivation. Stop confusing commitment with motivation. Motivation is hype. Motivation is a spark. But commitment is the engine that keeps you moving long after the spark fades. Motivation is what gets you started. Commitment is what gets you finished. Everybody can start something when it's exciting. But can you stay in it when it's boring? Can you show up when nobody's watching? Can you keep pushing when you fail 5 times in a row? That's commitment. Signs you're not committed yet. Let me check you right now. You say you're committed. Let's see. Do you keep quitting when it gets uncomfortable?